Hi everyone, I'm Satomi and I offer hands-on bread making classes in Tokyo. Today I'll show you how to make Marble Chocolate Shokupan. This recipe has a few more steps than my other shokupan recipes and it is a little bit challenging. But when it bakes perfectly, it's really delicious and it makes you really happy. So please give it a try. First, let's make the chocolate sheet. Break the chocolate into small pieces so it will melt faster. In a saucepan, add cake flour, cocoa powder, and sugar. Then pour in the milk and whisk until everything is combined. Turn on the heat to medium-low and when the milk becomes slightly warm, add the chopped chocolate. Continue heating and stirring until it becomes thick like a paste. Don't stop stirring or it may burn at the bottom. When it reaches this consistency, turn off the heat and add the butter. Mix until smooth. Prepare a piece of parchment paper and shape the chocolate paste into a 15 cm square. Try to make the thickness even. Place it in the refrigerator to chill until firm. Now I'm going to share about the dough temperature. For soft and fluffy shokupan, it's important to control the temperature of the dough after kneading. We aim for 26 to 28 degrees. This helps the yeast work well and makes the proofing time more predictable. Depending on your room temperature, adjust the temperature of your milk and water. In summer, I usually keep them cold in the fridge. In winter, I warm them slightly. Please check the description box for more details about dough temperature control. Lastly, bring the butter to room temperature before mixing. The butter should be soft so it blends into the dough smoothly. Now let's make the bread dough. In a stand mixer bowl, add the bread flour. Bread flour with around 12 to 13% protein is good for shokupan, because higher protein helps develop strong gluten, which gives structure and keeps the bread soft and fluffy. Add the cocoa powder, sugar, salt, instant dry yeast, and skimmed milk powder. We don't add too much cocoa powder this time because I just want a light cocoa flavor and a soft brown color in the dough. You can use regular granulated sugar, but I usually use cane sugar since it's what I keep in my kitchen. For the salt, fine salt works best because larger crystals don't mix evenly into the dough. I'm using instant dry yeast, which can be mixed directly with the dry ingredients. If you are using a different type of yeast that needs to be activated first, make sure to dissolve it in water before adding it. The skimmed milk powder helps give the bread more flavor and makes the texture softer and richer. Once you put all dry ingredients into the mixer bowl, mix them first until everything is combined. This helps the liquid distribute evenly. Then add milk and water. Again, mix them roughly so all the ingredients will combine faster once we start mixing with the stand mixer. Set the bowl on the stand mixer and start mixing on low speed until there's no dry flour left. Now, increase to medium speed and knead for about 10 minutes. At first, the dough may stick to the bottom of the bowl. That's normal. As gluten develops, the dough will slowly become smoother and start pulling away from the bowl. Now it has been about 10 minutes and the dough is starting to feel elastic. At this point, the gluten is developing and the dough is becoming stretchy. Add the softened butter. We add the butter now because if you add it at the beginning, the fat in the butter can slow down gluten development. By adding it after the gluten has started to form, the dough can build a stronger structure. Once there are no batter bits left, knead on medium speed for another 10 to 15 minutes until the dough becomes smooth and elastic. It has been about 12 minutes since I added the butter. The dough looks really smooth and beautiful. To check if the gluten has developed enough, let's do the window pane test. Stretch a small piece of dough with your fingers. If it becomes thin and almost transparent without tearing, it's ready. If it tears easily, knead a few more minutes. Shape the dough into a smooth ball, keeping surface tension. Check the dough temperature. If it's between 26 to 28 degrees, that's perfect. If the dough temperature is lower, the fluffing will take longer. If it's higher, the dough will rise faster, so make sure to keep eye on it. Place the dough in a bowl, cover with a damp towel and let it rise in a warm place until more than doubled in size. Now the dough has expanded to more than double. I'll do a finger test. This will help check if the dough has fluffed enough. Dust your finger with flour and gently press into the dough. If the dent stays and you see small bubbles on the surface, it's ready. If the indent closes quickly or there are no visible bubbles, let the dough fluff longer. Gently press to raise gas and transfer the dough onto your work surface with the smooth side facing up. From now on, we keep this smooth side on the outside for a clean finish. Shape into a round bowl. Make sure the dough has a tension on the surface. Cover with a damp towel and let it rest again for about 15 to 20 minutes. This resting time helps relax the gluten and makes shaping easier. While resting the dough, take the chocolate sheet out of the fridge. It shouldn't be too hard or too soft. It's a good consistency if it can bend a little like this. Now let's shape the dough with the chocolate sheet. First, dust the surface of the dough with flour lightly and degasse it. Flip it over and roll out the dough into a square slightly bigger than the sheet. Gently pull the dough to make the corners. Place the sheet in the center, then fold the dough from all four sides to completely wrap it. Dust the flour on your work surface and the dough. Using your rolling pin, gently press down the dough firmly to flatten and help the chocolate sheet and the dough stick together. Flip it over and place the back side the same way. Turn it over again and now start rolling it out to about 20 cm wide and 40 cm long. Be careful here. If you roll strongly from the center all at once, the chocolate sheet may come out from the edges. So roll gradually. First the center, then the upper part, then the lower part. While rolling, lightly dust with flour and always check that the dough is not sticking to your work surface. Once the dough is stretched, lightly spray some water on the surface and fold it in thirds. Make sure to fold the dough so the sealed side from wrapping the chocolate sheet stays on the inside. Cover with a damp towel and let it rest for about 10 minutes. This resting time helps relax the gluten so the dough will be easier to roll again. After 10 minutes, dust the work surface and the dough lightly with flour. Press both sides of the dough with a rolling pin to gently flatten it little by little. Then roll it out to about 30 cm long. Turn the dough 90 degrees and roll it again to about 30 cm long. Split it lightly with water and fold it into thirds. Turn the dough over and let it rest another 10 minutes, covering the damp towel. Meanwhile, spray oil in the pan. You can also use butter to coat the pan. After resting, lightly dust the flour and turn the dough 90 degrees. Roll it out to about 1.5 times the length of the long side of your loaf pan. Once the dough is rolled out, cut it into 3 equal stripes. Attach the top ends together with the cut sides all facing up. Now braid the 3 stripes. Make sure to keep the cut sides facing up the whole time. This way, the chocolate layers will show nicely after baking. Pinch the ends tightly to seal. Place the dough in a pan. Tuck both ends underneath so the seams are on the bottom. Cover and let it rise in a warm place until the dough fills the pan. Before baking, preheat your oven to 180 degrees. Now the dough has expanded. Splash a little water on top and bake for 30 to 35 minutes until nicely browned. If the top burns too quickly, cover it with aluminum foil. Once baked, tap the pan lightly to release steam and remove the bread from the pan. Let it cool on a wire rack. After it cools completely, slice from one of the bottom corners for clean cuts. You'll see beautiful chocolate layers inside. It's soft, rich, and perfect for breakfast or dessert. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll try making this Marble Chocolate Shokupan at home. Please check out my other videos for more Japanese Shokupan recipes. See you next time and happy baking!